I, 41-year-old female, have a boyfriend. 37-year-old male, let's call him D. We've been in an on and off relationship for almost 5 years. Met online. Things started out as usual. Texted, then FaceTime, then met in person. What I didn't fully understand at the beginning was that he was not looking for anything serious. I was, and even stated that in my dating profile. During our first year together, I met his son, now 7, and he met my son, now 21, severely autistic. One also met D's mom, brother, and cousin on 4th of July that year. I thought things were serious and committed, but then the following spring I got a message from a woman I did not know asking me what my relationship with D was. I told her we were together for about a year and asked why, and do I know her? She proceeded to explain to me she was D's girlfriend and they got back together months earlier. Messaging back and forth with her, she gave proof, pictures from inside his house that he just purchased when we met. A picture of the Easter gift he gave her, which was identical to the one he gave me, just a different color. Said that she had gifted him the puppy he told me a friend gave him for Christmas. Also detailed how she and her kids helped name him, and that D said she was the puppy's mommy, and screenshots of their conversations. In those, she asked him who I was since I was a new FB friend, and reacted and commented on a lot of his posts. He downplayed our relationship, saying he met me online while they were broken up. Slept together, but nothing serious, and he saw no future with me, and I apparently was not Simone he could see building a life with. I was crushed. I called him and asked who she used her name was. He asked why. I told him about our chat. He at first denied it, saying she's an ex obsessed with him and he felt bad for her because she has no one know. Family or friends apparently, and that is why he still talked to her at all. I confronted him with the evidence, pictures, screenshots, and proof she gave him the puppy. He had an excuse for everything, said the screenshots were fake and he never said those things. He gave her the Easter gift out of pity. He accepted the puppy because he didn't want to insult her, and he genuinely loved the dog and claims he paid her back for the dog, and admitted, yes, she has been in his house, but nothing happened. He also said that yes, when he first met me, he was not looking for anything serious, but he developed feelings for me. Said he would never have introduced me to his son or family if he wasn't serious. He said she is jealous and crossed a line and will send her a quick message, then block her, and said I should block her too. So I did. During this time, D pointed out that I was still FB and Instagram friends with someone I used to sleep with long before I met D. A past casual relationship that never worked out but remained on good terms with. He said that if I was demanding that he blocked his ex, then I need to block mine. Dumb, because I was not cheating, nor had any inclination to, but I agreed. Later, he also demanded I unfollow an acquaintance of mine that was friends with my ex, so well did as well, or so I thought. We moved on, and over the years, we were up and down. I believe he has antisocial personality disorder, and tried so hard to be understanding of that, even when the things he said hurt me. Criticisms on my weight, diet, clothes, job, how I cared for my adult son with disabilities that I raised on my own for most of his life, that I was not motivated enough, I didn't have enough energy, that I went to doctors and therapists too much, that I don't need my anxiety meds, that I should eat liver yuck when via migraine rather than take my prescription, that I tell Hest friend ton much about newer relation, etc. I literally could go on. He would excuse it all by saying he was just being real with me, and good partners push you to be better. Would fall on deaf ears when I told him he was not motivating me at all, but rather dragged me down or gave me anxiety. It was years of some short-lived good times that felt great, then crashes that hurt like hell, then back up again. I always forgave him and made excuses for his behavior. Fast forward over the years, met more of his family and friends, became very close with his son. And my son grew to like and trust D. This past summer, late July, I was at his house and he went on a motorcycle ride with a friend. Nothing unusual. He'd been excited about his new motorcycle at the time, and the guy friend he went with, LED, met before. I decided to help him out while he was gone. I cut his grass. We do not live together, if that was not clear in the blazing hot summer sun. Then, after showering, washed his dishes. I began to do some laundry for him when my phone rang. D called me from his friend's phone, asking if he left his phone there. I looked and found it on his dresser. He was relieved he didn't lose it on the ride, said he loved me, and will be back in a couple hours. I proceeded to throw in a load of laundry, then looked at his phone. I don't know what possessed me, but I just had to look. I knew the passcode for his phone and unlocked it. Hesitantly, I checked his texts, FB and FB Messenger. My hands shook as I looked at his match profile and the dozens of girls he was chatting with. Flirting, explicit messages and pictures, lots of good morning gorgeous, even some deep conversations about what one looks for in a relationship. He actually messaged some of those GA while he was on FaceTime with me that morning. The V messages went back months. I thought we were in a good place in our relationship at the time, so this was a shock and hurt deeply. I took pictures of his profile and some of the conversations with my phone. Then I put his phone down, gathered all my stuff I had there, and left. I bawled my eyes out all the way home, which is over an hour drive one way that 99% of the time I drove to him. When I got home, I sent him a scathing message, along with the pictures I took. He called me later when he got home, and the first thing he said to me was, "I guess allowing you in my house gives you the right to go through my stuff." Then he berated the shitty job did of cutting his lawn, and that I had no business touching his stuff, i.e., the laundry and dishes, all of which at that point I had done for him many times before with no complaints. I told him he was not a victim here, and I was really, finally done with him. Thought blocked him everywhere, but he sent me an email saying he loves me and begging me to talk to him. I shouldn't have, but Elian blocked him. He admitted he had made the profile and was messaging with other women, but swore he never met up with any in person. Then went on to explain how he understands the cheating was wrong, but he would not have done that if his needs were being met by me. He said he'd been begging me for a long time to see him as a partner and engage him more, and fully give myself to him. I was confused because I thought I was doing all those things. We got back together under the conditions he'd go to couples therapy with me, make our relationship status public on his FB account, and allow me to see his phone anytime I ask. He always could do that with me. He did those things and everything finally started to feel better. I even found out I was pregnant at the end of September and he seemed genuinely happy and excited. Started talking about making plans to move in together. But sadly, I had a miscarriage at just before 6 weeks. I was devastated. He, on the other hand, was oddly cold about it and even asked me why I was so upset because it's not like it had a heartbeat or anything yet. On top of the grief I was feeling, I was deeply hurt by his coldness, and he did not understand why. Again, we tried to move forward and had a super fun and happy Halloween weekend with our kids, his son, and mine. Then tonight, he called me saying he unfriended me on FB and Instagram. I asked why. He said he doesn't want to see the shit on there. I was so confused. Eventually, he said he saw that an acquaintance of mine, who was friends with someone I slept with years ago, long before I met D, was following me on Instagram. See context from earlier. I became defensive and said no, I unfriended them long ago. He insisted, and I looked, and sure enough, on Instagram, an old account of that acquaintance was still following me. But from the looks of it, he had not used that account in years. I removed that account right away, but D said he still will not add me back on any social media. I told him that was ridiculous, and if anyone should be making demands like this, it should be me, because he cheated on me. And I have never so much as flirted with anyone else since I met him. I then accused him of using this as a convenient excuse to limit my access to his social media so he can cheat again. His response was a smug, "I don't need social media to cheat." I got upset and he tried to tell me I took that all wrong. He didn't mean he was cheating or planning to, just wanted to point that out to be rational. Then he doubled down on accusing me of lying since I was still connected to that acquaintance on social media. An old, forgotten, unused account for Simone was never in any kind of relationship with. But Simone, associated with Simone I slept with years ago, but was never in a serious relationship with. I was beyond frustrated with him, but he made me feel like I was the problem and gaslighting him for reacting the way I did. Yes, I yelled and screamed out of sheer frustration and confusion. He said that social media is not important anyway, so why was I all bent out of shape about him unfriending me? One, it was one of my conditions of us getting back together after he cheated again, and two, if social media isn't a big deal, why are we even having this argument? I know there are two sides to every story, and this is only mine, but I feel like I am at my wit's end with this guy. Yet I still love him so much, and I love his son like he is my own. For a glimmer of time when I was pregnant, it felt like we were finally going to be happy, but then it all came crashing down again. I can own I am not perfect, and I do tend to have big emotional reactions when I am angry or sad, and he does not process emotions like a typical person would. But does that make me the whole problem here? I don't know what to do anymore. Please, can anyone give an unbiased perspective?